carve your pumpkin, you will need a pumpkin, 2 bowls, one for the flesh and one for the bits you want to discard, 2 tea lights, a template, pumpkin carving blades, an ice cream scoop and a sharp knife, some sticky tape, and a little reward for when it's all over. The first thing we need to do is to cut out the template to make sure that it fits the pumpkin. The next step is to fix the stencil onto the pumpkin using some sticky tape. Once the template is firmly applied, take the sharp knife and with the point of it just prick around the outlines of the design on the template. Probably the health and safety people are having a fit at the moment seeing you do this with a knife, so if you do it at your own risk. And if you're a Christian and you're not allowed to have sharp pointy things, try and find an atheist to help you. So here we are with the template outlined on the skin of the pumpkin with knife holes, and the next step is just to remove the template and discard it. Now draw a line around the top of the pumpkin to outline the lid, making sure that you don't overlap the template that's now formed on the face of the pumpkin. Next step is to cut out the lid on the pumpkin. You need to be very careful here because the skin of the pumpkin is very tough and it's quite easy for the knife to slip and you can end up chopping something off that you didn't actually want to cut. Once you've managed to cut around the lid and separate it from the pumpkin, slice off the seeds and remove some of the flesh from the inside of the lid. If you're going to use the flesh, save that in the bowl that you put aside for the flesh you're going to use. Remove the seeds and the stringy bits from the inside of the pumpkin. I tend to use a knife to do this, just to slice through and scoop everything out. And once you've done that, you can use the nice cream scoop to scoop out some of the flesh. Be careful when you're doing this that you don't actually go through the skin, but you probably want to leave in between 1 and 1.5 centimetres worth of flesh left on the inside of the skin so that the light can shine through, but the skin isn't so weak that the pumpkin falls apart. Once the pumpkin's been de-seeded and you removed all the flesh that you want to remove, making sure that you can save it for later, make yourself a pumpkin curry or a pumpkin pie or something. The next step is to take the pumpkin carving tool and to start removing the skin that's outlined in the knife marks that we made earlier. When you're carving, start with the tricky bits first, anything that's likely to be more difficult to carve once you've removed the larger pieces of skin. So for the gravestone that we're doing here, I'm actually going to carve out the RIP letters first before I do the rest of the gravestone. Otherwise it's going to be difficult to hold the flap of pumpkin skin in place whilst I'm removing the shapes that make the letters. Finally, remove the large piece of pumpkin skin, replace the lid, and there you are, the finished carved pumpkin. All that remains now is to light the tea lights inside the pumpkin, and there we have the finished carved pumpkin lantern. Now just a case of waiting for the trick-or-treaters. Happy Halloween, everybody.